When I have a thought, I gotta let it out. It's a bright spot that I can't even doubt. My opinions, my point of view, even if things are a little chopped and screwed. So yeah, even if you disagree. So yeah, even if I'm not in your pedigree. So yeah, especially if you agree. So yeah, so yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you're listening to it. Welcome to the So Yeah podcast with your girl, Caroline M. Diamond. And yes, I do look a little bit different than I normally look on the podcast because I went to Coachella this weekend and I am coming to you with the swiftness, Taylor, and I am going to give you my thoughts about my experience at Coachella. This episode might be a little bit longer than my normal podcast lengths, but I'm telling you, it's all worth it. I drove down on Thursday and then I drove back last night and I got home at like 2 a.m. So I'm actually not feeling as disgusting and decapitated as I usually do, which I say is a win. But my fucking feet. Okay, this is 30, man. Honestly, like, being 30 years old and like doing a festival is just like so fucking hard. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it's hard. And it was mostly my ankles. My ankles were killing me, like literally killing me. So I want to first just talk about like the experience itself, and then I'll go into who I saw and my thoughts about them. I want to give a disclaimer right now. I know I have to give a lot of disclaimers for my podcast because people don't listen. So let me say it again. All right. These are my opinions. I feel the way I feel based on my life experience, my perspective, my lived experience, okay? So if you disagree, that's fine. You can disagree. You can have your own opinion as I can have my own opinion. But that's that, okay? Also, when I start talking about the actual performances, this is not to shit on anybody's creative process, creative vision, who they are as an artist. This is just how I feel about their performance, about what I like and what I don't like. I love glitz and glamour. I love a pop performance, okay? So some things hit and some things don't hit as hard for me. That is just my opinion. Okay, so when we're like talking about like the actual Coachella experience itself, it was actually, the first day was pretty hot and then it was like super windy the first day, but actually after that, it wasn't like so bad, which like I will really take because I've been going to Coachella almost 10 years now and there have been times where it is hot ass crack. Like it is so hace calor. Okay. But this one wasn't that bad. So I'll take it. And the elements weren't so bad either. Other than the first day of it being windy, like I felt like I could survive. Yeah. Like the dust kicked up a little bit, but like we are in the desert. So like what are you gonna do? But I didn't feel like I was like actually gonna be a pile of dust. Like obviously I was blowing like dust bunnies out of my nose like later that night, but like that's just a part of the gamble. Okay, so I get artist pass. Thank you, Kevin. And I felt like I usually go weekend 2. But she got booked on a job this week. So I had to move my plans to go weekend 1. I know I literally said in the podcast that I wouldn't do that, but like you got to stay flexible, all right? You got to be able to move with the times. So I went weekend 1 and it really just kind of reinstated for me why I don't like going to weekend 1. There's so many influencers and people and things. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about the influencers there. And everybody like thinks that there's somebody. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't care that much. The bathroom situation was a hot fucking mess. It was like always a fucking 15 ladies deep line at the artist's bathroom. I know that's like first world problems, but like I gotta pee. So it is my problem. All right. I think that, oh my God, the fucking traffic on the second day specifically getting in was so crazy. Like it took us 2 hours from leaving Palm Springs to get into the festival. Like I missed 3 songs of Addison Rae. I was not happy, but still I rise. All right, let's get into what I saw, how I felt about it. And once again, I literally said this 3 minutes ago and I'm going to say it again because people don't listen. I have to repeat myself so you hear it. These are my opinions based on my taste. Okay. So we started off the weekend incredibly strong, maybe too strong at 3 p.m., which was a fucking crime for Slater to be on at 3 p.m. in Mojave on a Friday. All right. I don't regret going, but it did set us up for a little bit of a all weekend long. Like it was really hard to recover from it. Also, like I was headbanging. And so my neck was actually decapitated for the rest of the weekend. I literally was like, help, ouchie, ouchie. It was really, her performance was so fucking good. Like I'm so happy for her. I don't know if I'm like just on gay TikTok, but my FYP was like full of Slater videos, and I'm really hoping that this has like been a really good moment for her because I felt it. So I hope that she felt it too, love and support. So I loved Slater. I recommend seeing Slater. After I saw Slater, I believe we had like a second to breathe, thank God. And then I saw a little bit of Dijon set. And I watched Dijon because like I think that The Dress is one of like the best pop songs that's been released in the last 10 years. Yes, it's a pop song. It's a pop song. Okay. And like my roommates really love Dijon. And like even if something is not necessarily for me, I want to check out why some people like him. So I watched like maybe like 3 or 4 songs, and I was watching really good, but like not for me, really just not for me. And that's okay. That's okay. It kind of just sounded like it was a lot of noises. Like my autism didn't like those noises. Do you know what I mean? Like it caters to different things, and it just it wasn't catered to you. And baby, this is the day. It wasn't. It really wasn't for me, but that's okay. After Dijon, I saw Cat's Eye, and they're stars. They're stars. They can get all the hate that they can get online and stuff. They're fucking stars. They are amazing. The choreo looks really good on them. I know that Grant is having quite a moment on socials with people's opinions, but on them, it looks amazing. I have been vocal simming, pinky up, pinky up. It's so good. Like, I'm living for it. I loved the content. Their outfits were so cute. Also, like, LOL, Diplo was standing next to me during Cat's Eye, so I got my titties sucked by Diplo at the Cat's Eye concert. I'm just kidding. What if I started the rumors? That would be so funny, bitch. That's funny. As we were leaving Sahara, we usually pass by the Do Lab, and John Summit was performing a surprise set. And I'm not really a John Summit girly, like but the song Lights Go Out, the leading single from his new project, is so good. And I literally said, as I was coming over the hill, I was like, you know what? It would be so amazing if I walk by this set. I said this out loud. I walk by this set and he's playing Lights Go Out. Literally, as I'm coming up over the hill, like I'm falling down, the crescent is falling down, I hear, where do we go when the lights go out? I start running. I'm like, this was made for me. God loves me. And I only say it for one song because that's all I really needed, to be honest with you. And then after that, we saw Sabrina's performance. Okay. I am not the biggest Sabrina Carpenter fan. I've said it on the podcast before. I don't think that she should have been next to the headline Coachella. I still believe that. I think that I just wish I liked her music more. And I don't. I loved Short and Sweet, but I did not like Man's Best Friend, and the set list was very heavily Man's Best Friend, which, like, you do you. But at the same time, the thing with headliners, okay, let me move my fucking eye patches up. The thing with headliners, your headlining set is greatest hits, deep cuts, and songs from your latest project. If you do not play greatest hits and some deep cuts and only your new project, it's alienating a crowd, okay? That is how I felt about Gaga's performance last year. It was like, it was a mayhem show, which I would like to see at a mayhem concert, but that's not what I want to see at Coachella. Do you know what I mean? So I stayed for like 3 or 4 songs in the crowd for Sabrina, but honestly, I literally was fucking dying because of cranking it with Slater. Like I was crunked. And the dancing and like, it was beautiful. Like, what budget? Like, no budget was even close. Like, the first shot where I saw like, what was it, like 6 of those vintage cars, I was like, all of those cars cost more, have a daily rate that's higher than the dancers. Because that's literally how it is. Those cars are so expensive. I thought the monologue was a little too long in the beginning. Like, shut the fuck up and let's dance. I loved the choreo. Shout out to Byron Tittle. But I did have to leave the premises when I saw the dog furry dance. I hated that. Like, in what world was that necessary, in good taste, good, like, baseline, like, hated it. Like, I saw that and I was like, we gotta go through VIP and go to the artist compound. Like, I can't watch this. Let's just watch this on the monitor. And then also as well, like, when we were in the back, we were like catching like glimpses of the performance and like overhearing some stuff. Here's my problem with the way that Coachella has become. It has grown more into how does it gonna look on the live stream rather than catering to the live audience that is present on the field. I do have a problem with that. I think that it takes me out of the performance as a fan, as somebody who loves live art. I understand the need for the live stream and like making viral moments and doing all this kind of shit. But don't forget why we fucking started this in the first place was because it's a live show. It should be a live experience. And I felt like it was going to look so good on the live stream. And the clips that I saw later that day, I was like, oh, it looks really good on the live stream. Like, I'll watch it next weekend for sure. Like, I'll give it a chance, but I'm not standing outside for these camera angles that I can't even really fucking see. Do you know what I mean? So we were getting our wits about us backstage, and then we went to Disclosure, and Disclosure was probably still my favorite experience this weekend. It was so much fun. I love their music. Their visuals were amazing. They were stunning. I loved the visuals. And yeah, the crowd, it was just like, you felt it. Their music just like brings people together, and it's like they weren't just DJing, they were like playing the instruments like while the songs are playing, and I think that added like such a like different layer and texture. I will say they brought out a couple people as guests. They brought out Khalid. He did not sound good at all. Like, I don't know if he was sick. I don't know if he didn't do his vocal warm-ups. It was not good. It was pitchy. And he forgot the words like a couple times. I mean, it's just, can we just talk? Talk about us. Talk about where we're going. I kind of hit that. I hit that more than he hit that. But I literally was like, not good. But Disclosure was my favorite set of Friday but I did really love Slater. Slater was a big moment for her. Cat's Eye was a really big moment. And then Disclosure, those were my top of the day. But I would say that Disclosure would take the reins. So as for Saturday, because of the traffic, we got there a little bit later than we wanted to. And Addison was first, and I mean, you guys know on the podcast, I fucking love Addison Rae. I will not hear any slander on the topic. I think that the slander is unwarranted. I think that she's been putting in the work. I think it comes true on the stage, how much work she's put into it. She looks amazing. She's dancing amazing. She's serving face. Her vocals are better than how I heard her in October. Everything has been improving since I saw her last. And you know what? All that I ask is improvements. I really do. That's all that I want is people to fucking improve. Sue me, okay? But it was so campy, and it was like kind of circus-esque Victoria's Secret vibes with like the dress, and like I loved the guys, but I loved the amount of men and women in that set. I loved it so much. I hope that she feels really good about the performance because I did too. And then after that, I saw Somber, which I didn't stay for as long as I would have liked to, because we had to go to another stage and stuff like that, but I loved it. I like Somber. I don't know why that people on the internet don't like Somber, which doesn't make any sense to me. People also are just haters, so you get what you get and you don't get upset kind of thing. Skinny legend. I mean, that man is a waif. He is tall and lanky. But I really loved it. I think he sounded really great too. And who I saw next was 9 Inch Noise, which is 9 Inch Nails and Boys Noise collaborating together. And they were in Sahara, and I knew that it was going to be like, oh, kind of vibe. And it really delivered. I think that was one of my favorite performances of the day as well. They had dancers, which shout out to all the dancers. Some of them are my friends. They were crawling, bitch. They were crawling. They were covered in clay. Covered in clay and crawling. I can't even say that alliteration, all right? But it was really fucking cool, and it was just, it was, what I really liked about it was how simple movement can be, and how simple lighting can be, and how effective it can emulate through somebody's body as a patron watching. And I really felt that, like, it wasn't like these crazy lighting cues or crazy like dance steps. It was really just like growing and crawling, and like the amount of dancers really had an impact, and like the way the stage was set up. I really fucking liked it. So I was a really big fan of 9 Inch Noise. Yeah, it was really good. And then after that, I caught, because I was leaving 9 Inch Noise from Sahara and I had to go to Mojave, like, it was kind of like a trek, and I didn't get a really great placement. That's the only thing, is I wish I had a better, like, audience placement for Pink Pantheress. But let me tell you, I saw Pink Pantheress in 2022, 2021 at Portola in San Francisco. And when I tell you that artist then versus the 2026 Pink Panthers that I saw is a completely different person. And again, this is like the Addison Rae thing. I love and appreciate when somebody puts the time, puts the effort into artist development, knows where they need to improve, and acts upon it. I love that. I love to see it. I love to be a part of it. And I love to be on the artist journey. I thought it was so cute. I thought that the outfits were perfect. I think that her stage presence is way better. I love the dancing. I really, really loved it. But I do wish that I saw like it better, from a better angle. That was me personally. So I'll definitely catch the live stream next weekend, just so I can really like get all the shots and get the vibes. So after Pink, I caught a little vibe, a little bit moment of David Byrne, which I think that I personally would have never bought a ticket to see David Byrne, because it's just really not fully my thing, but he's iconic. Oh my god. Oh, wait. Skirt. We gotta go back to 9 Inch Noise. So we start to leave, and it's Kevin and our friend Casey and me. That's the crew that was running this weekend. And we were leaving 9 Inch Noise, like probably like 5 minutes before they were ending. And so there were still a lot of people in the crowd. So we're like exiting, and when you start to exit, like there's just, departs the Red Sea. So Kevin's leading, I'm caboose, and Kevin's walking, and then he gets like, somebody grabs his arm, and he's like, yo, what? And the dude was like, oh, no, you're okay, man. And then I guess Casey shot the guy. It was like a security guard, a bad look. And then they walk. I didn't really see that exchange. I just felt to stop because I couldn't really see that far ahead. And then as I'm walking through, I make eye contact with her, and it was Chapel Roan. So Kevin got grabbed by Chapel Roan security. She is not beating the security guard accusations, because it was literally like, we were just like walking through. Also, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really do not care. None of us care. It's just like, we're trying to exit the premises, and you're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, also, I'm not trying to take a picture of Chapel Roan at 9 Inch Noise. Like, bitch, who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? But it was just such a funny moment. It's like, we wanted to make a shirt that says, I got body checked by Chapel Roan security guard at 9 Inch Noise, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. So that was funny. But anyway, going back to David Byrne. It was so good to see him, because I know that he's iconic, and I'm glad that I saw a couple songs. And then let's get to Justin Bieber. All right, let me push these eye patches up, because we got to talk about this. Okay. I am a believer. I grew up a believer. I love Justin Bieber. I have always loved him, and you know, he's had a hard life. He's been through a lot of stuff, and you know, I am very empathetic towards him and what he's been through. And I'm sure that we don't even know, like, we're not even scratching the surface of what he's been through. But I didn't like swag. I talked about it on the podcast. I didn't like swag. I'm not swagalicious, and I'm just not. I just didn't like it. It's not for me. It's not my album. I like the hits. I like pop songs. Like, that's just what it is. So when he started off the set, I knew that I knew he didn't have dancers, which I was like, ooh, okay. I know that it's not where he is in his career right now, but like, I love dancers. So like, give it to me. Give it to mama. And he probably did like 6 or 7 swag songs at the beginning. And I do feel like, I mean, some of them were good. I enjoyed myself, but it did hit a point where it was like, we need you to play a hit now. And you felt that in the audience too. There were so many people in the audience. It really felt like people were there at Coachella to see Justin Bieber. That's how the whole weekend felt. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there were so many people, and you could feel the energy in the crowd, because like, I was in the crowd. Of course, like, people who are getting filmed are like all the people that are at the stage who've been fucking camping out. So obviously those are believers. Like, okay, I'm not like gonna like stalk anybody's house believer, but like, those are like real fans. And so like, I'm out in the field, like, just experiencing it with like a bunch of people anyway. And the energy was real low. I mean, real low out there. And I do feel like the creative direction plateaued, like, after, like, the 3rd song. Like, the screen content was boring. The stage was boring. I was just like, and then when it's, like, 7 songs in, and he's still, like, in his hoodie and his sunglasses, I'm like, we need to see you. I know you want to hide, and I'm really proud. I was having a parasocial moment while watching him do these swag songs, probably like the 4th song, and like, I started crying only because like, I know how hard it was for him to get the fuck out on that stage and what that took for him to do. And I'm sure he like really loves what he's doing, but I don't love it. And that's just how I felt about it. Like, I know that he wanted to hide. He wanted to be like in this space, but like, you gotta perform, baby. You gotta like literally take your hood off. And he did eventually. He took the hoodie fully off, and then he took his sunglasses off, but like, it took a little bit too long for me. Like, we want to see you. And then so I was with Madison and Michael, and then we started like kind of walking, like they were gonna leave and go somewhere else. And I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna start, like, making my way. If he's just playing swag songs, like, and there was nothing creative happening on the screen. It wasn't like I was gonna miss anything without just, like, listening to it. So I was like, oh, I'll start, like, making my way through VIP and then to the back. And then we, like, split, and literally, like, 30 seconds later, he like, has his, like, laptop up that he was like, oh, live streaming. I was like, bitch, you ain't live streaming. I know. Come on. Come the fuck on. We know this is all planned. And then he does like back to back hits. And they're fucking hits. Like, the crowd, like, literally the energy flipped on its head. Like, everybody was like, wow. It was amazing. It did kind of I feel 2 things. I thought that it was really, kind of really beautiful that he was like harmonizing with his younger self and the key that it was in before. I did feel like it was just karaoke for him. And he didn't play the full songs. So, like, what? And not bringing out Jaden Smith during Never Say Never, I'm pissed about it because I saw him at Dijon. Like, he was like 2 feet from me. And I was like, bring him out there. Bring more people out. I don't know why. Like, the people that he brought out, I was like Kid Leroy was the first feature. Ugh. Thames, okay. Dijon, okay. Like, I was just like, where's Luda? Where's Ludacris? Okay. Come on. But like after he played all the hits and he like started playing memes and like weird shit, I was just like, okay, I was uncomfortable. And then I started to make my way to the back, and then it was, I mean, he played some swag songs that I didn't feel like I really missed out on anything creatively, like being in the back. And then leaving Justin Bieber was fucking insane. Like, there were so many fucking people. It was like herding cattle. It was really bad. But I'm happy that I saw him. I still do have Bieber fever and I have a lot of love for him. But it was not my performance. And do I think that it was a headliner performance? No, I don't. Especially when you went from Sabrina's the day before, which I know I didn't really watch, but like the opulence of that to the bare bones of what Justin Bieber did, I'm like, a woman could have never done that. A woman could have never done the performance that he did. And that's just the fucking truth. And that's the way that Sue sees it. Okay, so finally we made it to Sunday. I know that this episode is a little bit longer than normal, but like obviously I'm giving you boots on the ground journalism, so you better fucking listen to it. We started off with Major Lazer, and I would say like this was probably one of my least performances I saw all weekend, only because having them at 6 p.m. was a crime. Seeing that set in the daylight was a fucking crime. And I didn't like that at all. Some of the transitions weren't really strong musically. They weren't that strong for me. I also feel like the movement, I know that there's a lot of like room to like individualize within the movement that they provided for those dancers. I do feel like we should have had maybe a couple more rehearsals because the vibe was different. Like what was happening over here, which was not the same pocket over here, and it kind of felt like I was watching like 8 different versions of choreo, which again, I like having individualistic tones to choreography, but like it just felt like a lot of this, and because there's so much like ass shaking and jumping around, it just felt like getting whiplash and like paper cut eyes. It wasn't my favorite. We didn't last that long. And then after that, we went to go see Foster the People, which I loved Foster the People's last album. I think that like it made no noise, but it made noise with me. And I really loved it. I thought that he performs really well. He sounds just like the recording, which I love. I thought that the content and like the filters that they put on the screen was so cool and very effective. So I really, really enjoyed them like a lot. And then after that, I kind of like floated around a little bit by myself because like Kevin and Casey went some techno person, which I'm not a techno girl. I'm not gonna do it. So I like went to Quasar for a little bit. I went to the Do Lab and I was chilling backstage for a little bit, and then met up with them again. Then we saw a little bit of Fatboy Slim, which that was so fun. We needed the hype to come back up, like the energy to pull up, and it really did that. And that was really fucking good. And then we went to see FKA Twigs after that, and FKA Twigs had the best performance of the entire weekend. FKA Twigs had the best performance the entire weekend. She is a once in a generation artist. She is a true artist. The set, the lighting, the dancers. I don't know if the normal average person would feel the same way that like a dancer would watching that set. But I felt that was probably one of my favorite live dance performances that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of shit too. Those dancers, like the main dancers, they are all men, but like so beautiful in the sense that they have a really great balance of femininity and masculinity that I don't see a lot anymore. Cause it's either like really gay or like really masculine, but like kind of very balanced. It doesn't happen so much. And it was incredible. And like, I'm going to be honest, like, I know I could sound like a hater sometimes. Oh well, whatever. Usually there's never any performance with choreography that I see all the way through that I'm like, I love all of those choices. There's always like parts where I'm like, I don't like that. And that's just me. Like, that's just me, like, with my opinion and like what I want to see on a stage, like some choices that people make. I have no notes on the choreography. I think that choreography was perfect. Perfect. And then, you know, she brought out like the Vogue section and it was amazing. I loved Deshawn and that was like awesome. And then there was like also like a Crump section. It's just like, obviously she was a professional dancer before she became her own artist. And you can really tell that she values dancing. And there, you know, she had her like sword fighting moment. She had her pole dancing moment. My only thing is, for me, I wish that I liked her songs a little bit more. I don't love necessarily like all of her music, but like at the end of the day, like I didn't care because of the execution of it all. Like really though. She sounds really good, even though she's up here. Like I can't even hit that note because I'm a baritone bitch, you know? And then she ended with Cellophane and it actually was like one of the most moving pieces of art that I have seen in an experience in a very long time. So she started off in this kind of corseted feather dress. And then halfway through, she like unzips it, takes it off. She's wearing this like nude bra and panties. She has this whole moment on the pole. Gorgeous, stunning, really like feeling everything. And then she gets back to the mic and you could feel the rawness and the vulnerability in her being, but also in her voice, in her presence. And the show starts off with a bed and it ends with a bed as well. And like she's on the bed and like you could feel like the aching in her voice and she's like kind of getting choked up singing it. And it's like really like I was sobbing. It was so fucking amazing. And then at the end, you know, she like brought out all the dancers. She was like, these are the best dancers in the world. Like, I really mean that. And I'm like, you know, I really agree. I think that those are some of the best dancers that I've ever seen. Special shout out to the dancer Emiliano. I think that all the dancers were amazing, but he was for some reason so captivating to me. And I don't know this man, but I messaged him and I was like, you are so captivating on stage and inspiring. Like, I was obsessed watching him. And I love an artist that like really thanks her dancers. Like all the dancers, she wanted all of them out. She wanted the Voguers, the Crumpers, she wanted all of them out. And then, honestly, after that, like I should have just like ended the day because nothing was gonna top Twigs. But then I went over to see a little bit of Carol G, who was 30 minutes late, which that's not good. Also on Sunday, that's really not good because there's a noise ordinance and you have to be done by midnight. Like you must. Like actually I think it's 11:55. They're going to pull the plug on it. Like you can't go over. So she was 30 minutes late and then I'm not personally like a Carol G fan. Like I don't really know her music. Like I love, you know, I love Latino culture, but like, it's not like I've listened to her songs, but she's just not for me. And that rang true when I was watching her performance. I loved the stage design. I thought that was really cool. I also did feel because it was such a big piece of set design, it kind of like plateaued for me because you can't, like, it's like a fucking cave. You can't really fucking move a cave so much. And yeah, I don't want to sound like a hater, but the choreography was not it at all. I love an orgy moment. I love everybody just grinding and rolling when the moment calls for that. If everything is grinding and rubbing, it desensitizes me. Like, let's like hit a fucking step. Like literally like let's hit a step rather than just like gyrating. And again, I don't know, maybe now I'm like me being in my 30s, I'm like maybe I'm too old for this shit or whatever, but it just kind of felt like one note. Like it did not go, and I stayed for like 4 or 5 songs and it just felt one note to me. Like I was just like, okay, I saw it. Cool. Like I'm happy for everybody that like was obviously dancing, but like it was not for me. It was not my performance. Um yeah. I mean, again, I also think that I was in a different mind frame because I had just come from Twigs and I had my whole brain blown out by FKA Twigs. And then I went to go see something that was like, I don't know, kind of mediocre, in my opinion, in comparison with the two. But that's all I'll have to say about that. Wow, you guys, thank you so much for listening to this long episode. I know I had a lot of opinions, but I also saw a lot of shit, and I want to give you the facts and, well, my facts, which is the truth, and my opinions on the show and how I liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I had a good time. I love Coachella. I do think that because I've been so many times, it wasn't my favorite weekend of Coachella I've ever been to. It was definitely not in my Hall of Fame. But if I could say my tops of the weekend, my favorite experience that I had was Disclosure. My favorite performance I saw was FK Twigs. And then also in like my favorites, I would put Slater. I would put Addison. Maybe Cat's Eye. If I'm putting a top five together, I think that'd be my top five. But in general, I had a great time watching all the acts. So thank you so much for watching this episode and staying with me. Please, if you have a disagreement, which I love hearing a disagreement, at the same time, you have your own perspective as I have my own perspective. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I accept it. So hit the comments, share, like, repost, all that jazz, and we'll catch you next time. So yeah.